This is the Sunny Bike model SFB1002 I purchased on Amazon for $380.99. And in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing it, building it, and giving you my very first impressions on this budget-friendly Sunny Bike. Oh, right away, I can tell that flywheel has quite a bit of mass to it. As you can see here, I also have several other indoor cycling bikes I will be comparing the Sunny Bike head-to-head against in the future, as well as giving a more thorough review of this bike as I spend more time on it. This Sunny Bike comes standard with a massive, high-quality 49-pound flywheel. And I got this bike with the belt drive instead of the chain drive option because the belt drives are better, quieter, and require less maintenance. This budget-friendly indoor cycling bike is extremely popular in the indoor cycling bike community, and many people choose this bike as a Peloton alternative setup because of its good bones, and since it doesn't have a screen or any electronics for that matter, it frees you up to use the Peloton digital app or whatever fitness app you'd like. And of course, it has a very budget-friendly price of just $380 at the time I bought it. However, I put a link below this video in the description box so you can check the current price, shipping time, and availability if you're interested in buying this bike on Amazon like I did. Things that are different about this indoor cycling bike compared to other bikes I've purchased and reviewed is this bike is really a bare bones package bringing indoor cycling back to the basics. Unlike many bikes, this one does not have magnetic resistance. Instead, it uses a leather pad friction resistance system, and it also does not have any electronics at all, which means you will not be getting your cadence or resistance level feedback metrics, or any metrics for that matter, unless you attach additional equipment such as the Wahoo cadence sensor, which I did order on Amazon for about $40, and ironically, a 100-ounce electronic sensor is taking several more days to ship than the actual 100-pound bike took to arrive, which for me took about 3 days for the Sunny Bike to arrive from click to delivery. So why would you buy such a basic and bare bones machine like the Sunny SFB1002 bike when you can get other bikes at the same price point with a lot more features, electronics, and metrics, such as the $385 ProForm Tour de France CBC with digital magnetic resistance along with a cadence sensor and the ability to connect a heart rate monitor and many other features. Or the $399 Joroto X2, which also has magnetic resistance and a screen to give you feedback on your metrics as well. Or the well-known and loved $500 Echelon bike. These are the big questions, and in this video I will be unboxing and taking a closer look at the highly reputable build quality of the Sunny Bike and see how it stacks up against other indoor cycling bikes in the same price point, as well as bikes that cost much more money. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I do hope I can provide some useful insight opening this bike up and building it and giving you my thoughts and first impressions and opinions on this Sunny Bike. Guys, if you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments during this video, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comment section below this video because I will get back to you. I promise I'll get back to you. And also, I do have a link to buy the Sunny Bike from Amazon. There's a link below this video in the description box. So if you're thinking about buying this bike or you're planning on buying this bike, I would greatly appreciate it if you do buy it through that link because that does help support this channel. I really like that the Sunny Bike tells you how to actually get these things out of the box. I'm going to try and actually do this right, probably for the first time. Alright, that was pretty simple. Got most of the stuff unboxed right now, so let me go ahead and just show you around. At first glance here, there is a lot of chrome, and I have to admit, I like it. It just has like a very retro kind of feel to it, a retro look. It feels like very high quality, solid parts. First glance, first impressions here, let me just talk about a few little things. One thing that really caught my eye about this bike is the rolly wheels for the front. These are like really nice quality wheels. Much nicer than on the ProForm Tour de France CBC. I would put them on point with the Peloton Bike Plus. I mean, these are like some like rollerblade style high quality wheels. Honestly, just a small detail, but maybe this is kind of a indicator of the kind of quality that we can expect from the Sunny Bike. I will say, it looks like at first glance, the bottom feet are like kind of a cheaper plastic, which honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like over there on the ProForm, those had cheap plasticky feel or cheap plasticky feet on the bottom too. But it's totally fine. Like I didn't really notice it when getting on the bike. At first glance, the seat that comes with the Sunny Bike looks pretty good. It has like this little cutout in the middle, and it feels, you know, a little bit squishy, but also kind of firm. Good shape to it. You know, it looks like a pretty high quality seat. And at first glance, you know, I'd have to say the seat on this bike looks a little more high quality than on the ProForm bike. Taking a quick look at the pedals here, pretty basic pedals. Not my favorite, but I mean, what can you expect on a cheap bike? I would honestly swap these out for some SPD style clip-in pedals. These cages are just like a really cheap plasticky feel. So it kind of seems to be a common theme among these cheap bikes priced at about 500, 400 bucks. They all have cheap pedals, and you know, I would replace them. You can check my other videos on pedals if you want to know more information about that, but we'll put them on there and see how they feel. And look at this flywheel. This thing it's looking good. It looks beefy, it looks heavy. There is a big thick mass there on the outside, diameter, big radius. I'm betting this is a very nice flywheel. And we can get a little sneak peek here of the felt pad. This is my first bike I've experienced that does not have magnetic resistance. So pardon me, it looks like this might actually be a leather pad. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what it's like to actually get on a bike that's not magnetic resistance and does have this huge massive flywheel. So let's get to building here. Okay, I got everything on the Sunny Bike unboxed. It looks like it's gonna be an extremely easy build. Basically all I gotta do is remove those two little things on the ends, pop on the stabilizer bars, and this is like literally it. There's like just like a few bolts in here. Pop the pedals on, and it looks like it's gonna be the easiest bike I've built out of all of these bikes so far. I would like to comment on the handlebars real quick here. They seem nice. They seem like, you know, there's a lot of variety in hand grip positions. It has a very nice rubber feel, just like many of the bikes. I like that you can kind of grip it here, and it looks like you can grip it up here as well. And you got like the side grips, and you know, it kind of arcs up as well. One downside is it does not really appear that there is a way to mount a tablet on here without coming up with some sort of external way to mount your own tablet. So if you want to do like Peloton classes or something, it looks like you'll have to you know, just have your tablet somehow, maybe not on the bike itself, or maybe just use like a TV or something to set your bike up in front of a TV or something like that. So it would be kind of nice if there was some sort of like little way to mount a tablet on there, because you know, a lot of people are trying to do Peloton classes or some sort of, you know, instructor follow along. Anyway, let me finish building this thing up, and then I'll give you some more of my thoughts and opinions. That flywheel though. So the first step is you need to remove these bolts and get this thing out of here before you can put this on the front. Man, this flywheel is heavy. Real quick, I would like to point out that these bolts, you don't use these same bolts. You're supposed to take out the bigger, beefier bolts out of here in a washer and put them in there, and then just replace these same bolts. Even though these ones will fit back in there, it says you shouldn't do that because they're not as big of a bolt. 275 pound weight capacity is what it has listed here on the back. I just popped on those back bolts and we're ready to roll. Important. Read instructions carefully. Failure to do so may cause permanent damage to your bike. Here they're talking about the pedals. Basically, they want you to just put the pedal on finger tight and before you go crazy with the wrench and strip the threads. I will say these pedals, one thing I really like about the pedals here on the Sunny bike is this is the first bike I've seen that has this, is there's a little bit of Loctite, it appears, the blue Loctite on the threading. So when you get that pedal on there, it will help it stick on there and it won't wiggle loose on you. That seems to be the idea here. I have not seen any sort of lubrication or Loctite on any of these other bikes, including the $2,500 Peloton Bike Plus, which came with loose pedals on it, and I had to tighten them up before they got damaged. So you just take this little nut off, and then you start off just hand tightening it righty-tighty on the right side to put it on, and you really just want to make sure you get those threads lined up properly and you don't cross thread it before you get your wrench out, because if you cross thread it, it's going to strip the threading on the pedal and or the crank arm, which will cause you a devastating mistake, and you'll have to replace parts on your bike before you get to ride it. So after you got the pedal hand tightened, you just kind of get out that 15mm wrench and just give it a little bit of a snug up, and it should be good to go. And I can feel that Loctite working. And then after you have the pedal on there, it actually wants you to put this little spanner or nylon nut back on the other side here. And this is interesting because you don't really see this on many bikes. The Echelon bike did actually ask you to do this as well. But I mean, it does kind of make sense because, you know, on a normal bike, you know, your pedal's not really just gonna fall off normally. But, you know, if you put this on there, it'll really kind of just really give you that extra security in case it does somehow come loose. This little nut on the other side would, you know, prevent it from falling off. I'm on the left side now, and essentially it's the same thing. You know, you just take off this off the pedal, and then the only difference is you screw counterclockwise on the left side to tighten the pedal, and you know, you want to just start off finger tightening again so you don't strip the threads by accident, jamming it on there with the wrench. And of course, I'm not going to leave the pedals without hating on them a little bit, because that's what I do on these cheap bikes. You can see that these just have a lot of friction. So, you know, riding with these pedals is gonna be like pedaling your bike with the brakes on. So, you know, if you're trying to improve your metrics, these pedals are definitely going to be holding you back a little bit. I can tell you just by trying to spin them. Now it's time to put the seat post on. Right off the bat, I can tell you this seat post will not have micro adjustments because there are holes to click into. They look like they're spaced about 1 inch apart. So, you know, that's gonna be, you're gonna have to choose a hole to click this into. There's no micro adjustments like on the Peloton Bike Plus over there. There are no holes on that one. However, having a hole to click into for the seat post adjustment is common on these cheaper bikes. The ProForm has it, the Echelon has it, and even the $900 Schwinn IC4 also has holes to click into for the seat post adjustment, which I guess I should point out, the Schwinn IC4 holes are placed much closer together, so you have more of a micro adjustment ability on the Schwinn IC4, whereas these are kind of spaced out. Now it's time to put this seat thing on here. I will say this one also has holes you click into, which is different than on these other bikes here. So in terms of moving your seat forward and backwards on this one, you're not gonna get those micro adjustments because it needs to click into a hole on there. Whereas on all of these other bikes I have, the ProForm, you know, it just kind of, there's no hole to click in, it just slides forwards and backwards. Same deal goes with the Echelon, and same deal goes with the Schwinn IC4 as well as the Peloton Bike Plus. So that is kind of a one downside of the seat adjustment on this bike. However, the actual seat you put on there does have, I'll show you, these little rails here. You can slide the seat forward and backwards along to micro adjust how far your seat is forwards and backwards. If you're not able to get that based on which slot you click this into. It's time to put the handlebar post up here on the front, and I would like to point out here that this does have holes spaced out fairly far apart, again similar to the seat post. And also, so other bikes, maybe I should say, the ProForm, it also has the holes, so you have to click into a hole on this bike. Same goes for the Echelon Connect. However, the $900 Schwinn IC4 does not have holes to click into for the handlebars, so you get micro adjustments on that. Obviously, same goes there on the Peloton Bike Plus. There's no holes to click into, so you can get micro adjustments. Next order of business here I'd like to point out, it appears that these handlebars, once they are on there, are not going to have the forward and backward adjustability, which is very common on these inexpensive indoor cycling bikes. So, you know, the ProForm does not have the ability to go forward and backwards. Neither does the Echelon Connect, but the $900 Schwinn IC4 back there, you know, I have a whole separate video on that comparing it to the Peloton Bike Plus, so if you want to see more on that one, those do have the ability to go forward and backwards with micro adjustments, up and down and forwards and backwards. I guess I should also point out the Peloton Bike and Peloton Bike Plus do not have the ability to go forwards and backwards, so pretty common for them not to go forward and backwards. I just got the seat on there, and my goodness, this thing is of gigantic proportions. This maximum seat height is like really, really high. I feel like this is like by far the highest max seat height I've seen on any of these bikes, probably besides the Peloton Bike Plus. So I'll get on there in a minute and really see where we're at in terms of the distance, you know, from seat to pedal there. Here it is. This is the Sunny bike, built, no frills, no electronics, no plug-in, no power adapter, no batteries, no screen, no place to even really mount a screen. But everything is just old school legacy. We got this beautiful, I think it was a leather, just like little leather pad here for the resistance knob, and I'm really excited to get on there and see how this massive 49-pound flywheel, how it feels. You know, I've never ridden a bike that doesn't have the magnetic resistance. All these other bikes over here have magnetic resistance, so let's just get on there and feel it out. I have a feeling the seat is going to be way too high, way too tall for me. I'm 6'5", but yeah, let me just hop on here and just kind of see what it's like here. Yeah, the seat. So I'm 6'5", my knee is all the way extended. Let's see what it sounds like. So there's a little bit of noise. I mean, it's not like bad. I need to lower the seat. I'm gonna drop it down 1. So it's on the max. I'm gonna put it down to 8 and see how that works for me. All right, so hopping back on here onto the Sunny bike, really for the first time. And let's see how it feels. So I've never been on one of these standard friction bikes. Oh, right away I can tell that flywheel has quite a bit of mass to it. Like when I tried to stop pedaling there was really quite a bit of inertia in these pedals. So I haven't even tried adjusting it yet. And I mean, it must be on like a low resistance right now. When I stop pedaling, the pedals kind of try to run away on me. That clicking you hear, I think, is just like the straps down there for the cages. Oh yeah, this bike has a nice amount of flywheel, or a nice amount of inertia on the flywheel. So let me try out the resistance knob. Give you a little zoom in there. And I'm just gonna turn it. So there is quite a lot of resistance there already. Oh yeah, so whew, wow. So the max resistance on this one is like, there is a lot towards the top end on the max resistance. Obviously because it has an actual friction pad, so literally you're just like applying a physical brake. Some of these other bikes, like the Echelon over there, the Echelon bike and the ProForm, have a little bit of problems when it comes to max resistance. The ProForm, the max resistance is not that much. The Echelon, there's quite a bit of max resistance, and the Schwinn, same ballpark roughly. The Peloton Bike Plus until now was the king of max resistance, but with this bike having a physical brake on it, basically, oh man, you can just crank up that max resistance so much. I think this one might win out overall for max resistance. And the flywheel, I'm starting to understand what all the rage is, all the hype about the Sunny bike, because the flywheel is, there's so much mass to it. It's a 49-pound flywheel is what they list it as, whereas a lot of these other bikes, honestly, they don't tell you the weight of the flywheel. The Echelon Connect, can't find it. That bike, I don't know what the weight is, but I can tell that this flywheel on the Sunny bike is like legit. I like this bike. As far as the noise goes, there is just like a noise. You can hear it, listen. But it's not like a bad noise, you know? I mean, I don't really understand why everybody wants their bike to be so quiet necessarily. I mean, you're exercising, you're probably gonna be listening to music, and like that is not like an obnoxious noise. Just kind of humming along. That's how the resistance works right there. Just puts that little leather pad down and gives you resistance. So I just set the camera down and I wanted to get on this thing off camera and just really give it a little test ride. And man, that flywheel is a really good flywheel. I will say, I really like the way this bike feels riding it, and the max resistance is through the roof. Like, I got winded so fast on this thing just trying to test out the max resistance, and when you lower down the resistance and pedal, you can just really feel that flywheel pull your feet through if you're trying to resist. So let me show you. Let me get out of the saddle here on like a high resistance. Oh man, this is a quality piece of machinery here. I'm gonna crank it down, way down. All right, get that cadence up. And if I kind of stop pedaling, I can feel the flywheel just like pulling that momentum and inertia. Oh wow. Yeah, so I really like the flywheel on this Sunny bike. So this is not intended to be a full review of the Sunny bike. I just wanted to unbox it and get some first initial impressions of it. I have to say my initial impressions are I really like this bike. The flywheel feels really good. The amount of inertia right there is really good on that flywheel. The max resistance on the Sunny bike is like through the roof. Way higher than the ProForm. Way more than the Echelon bike. I'm gonna have to do a more closer look at the Sunny bike versus the king, the Peloton Bike Plus over there, the $2,500 bike versus a $380 bike. So I do have a link to the Sunny bike down below this video in the description box. So If you want to buy the Sunny bike on Amazon, the same place I bought it for, you can click the link below this video and see what the current pricing and shipping time for the Sunny bike is, and if it's in stock. I don't think that there's generally an issue with stock on this bike, but anyway, the link below will tell you. And if you do buy through that link below this video, it will help support this channel. So if you're going to buy the Sunny bike, I would appreciate it if you did buy it through that link. So the whole point of this video right here is just kind of an unboxing, take a first look at the Sunny bike, and I will be doing more videos on this Sunny bike. I'm going to do it head to head versus many of these other bikes. The Echelon bike, the ProForm bike, the Schwinn IC4, and like I said, the Peloton Bike Plus over there. I do have a Wahoo cadence sensor coming in the mail. It will be arriving on Monday or Tuesday, I believe, in a couple days. Probably by the time you're watching this video. Statistically, it will be here on the bike already. So browse my channel for those videos if you're interested in seeing more footage and content and my thoughts and opinions of the Sunny bike. Yeah, so that kind of sums it up really, but you know, this bike has no electronics whatsoever. So, you know, you don't really have to worry about electronics failures, and you're not locked into like the Peloton or any particular platform. You know, you get the Peloton bike, you are stuck with Peloton. So they change their pricing, they go out of business, something happens, that thing could become a brick real quick for you. The Sunny bike, I mean, you could use this with the Apple Fitness Plus, which should be coming out any day now, or any free course, anything you want, you know, no app at all, whatever you want to do. Anyway though, if you like this video, guys, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment if you have any questions or comments about the Sunny bike. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.